The profit motive, which drove Fudsy to accomplish so much, may bring out the evil as well as the good.
Hello? Fudsy, old boy, I've got a great idea.
Between us, we control 70% of the country's sales.
Yeah, but quiet. Let's see what's cooking.
I smell trouble.
We'll clean up.
Terrific. We'll make millions. Millions we go.
Quiet. Okay, Sam, it's a deal.
You'll be sorry.
We are for the occupations. We occupy Oakland, occupy the stock exchange. We are against the occupations of Palestine, Haiti, and the other myriad of occupations in the world.
What's the most important part of any structure? What's the most important part of the structure? Look at this church. The rest of the structure wouldn't be there if it wasn't built on a solid foundation. The most important part of any structure is the foundation. And if the foundation of a structure gets up and walks away, the rest will have the choice of either following or crumbling.
Taxes are going up, university fees going up. Let's bring the troops home from the war, have peace, why waste money?
We've got to become aware of the fact that we have generated, our forefathers up to us, have generated a position of instability that needs sorting out. We've got a massive debt, and instead of pointing the finger at each other and blaming each other for the state of the world, we can make things happen and we can stop things happening by the language that we use.
They should see what's happened. You know, there are people who can't leave their houses because their mobility allowance has been cut. There are people who cannot afford legal representation. For me, these are important rights of human beings who live in a democratic society. And they're being taken away to support 1% of the population who live like kings already.
Everything we need is already here. We've stripped the earth of so much of its material wealth, but we've put it into a way that profits me as an individual, but shits on everything, including me. And as long as I don't look at the destructive attitude, the destructive habits that money has generated, as long as I don't look at that, if I can keep the blinkers on and just look at the money, then I'm all right. You can't put a money figure on life, but we do. As a race, we do. If you look at things like gold, diamonds, money, shit, put them on the floor and watch them. The gold never even tarnishes. Will always stay gold, bright and shiny. The diamonds are forever. They won't change form or anything. The money might corrode a little bit, but you know, thousands of years and it will still be exactly the same shape as it was. It won't do anything for you. Now the shit, that will turn into soil, and leaves or seeds and things will blow into it, and they'll germinate and they'll spring up from it. And you'll notice that life will come out of shit. But it won't come out of money, and it won't come out of gold, and it won't come out of diamonds. So only one of those things is vital or viable, and that's the shit.
We are builders. Builders of new freedoms and more power for a new age. We stand on the edge of that new age even now. And the pioneering spirit, flowering in the air of freedom, will dream and build new ways to put electric power to work.
The Eden Project is a unique destination. To different audiences, it is different things. But first and foremost, it's a public attraction. It's a botanic garden with the largest single collection of ethnobotany, that of plants for human use, some 5,000 species through 3 different climate zones. And again, that's part of the unique display and message of Eden. We have a temperate biome, the outside temperate landscape. We live in a temperate climate here in the UK. There are also 2 very impressive geodesic domes, biomes as we call them, housing plants from 2 different climate regions of the world, warm temperate climate regions and tropical and to a certain extent subtropical regions of the world. We are, it's a phrase that we've heard time and again, but no less true, we are living in very interesting, admittedly also exciting times. 31st of October apparently was the first time that this planet has 7 billion human beings living on it at any one moment. And if we're going to be able to not only allow the existing 7 billion, including ourselves, to have a happy, enjoyable life with the resources that we need for that, and allow that for the existing 7 billion, plus the expected population increase by 2050 that may take us to up to as many as 10 billion people on this planet, then practices and principles of sustainability have to be not just maintained, but augmented. One of the perhaps more important elements for us is harvestable rainwater. The core building, our Education Resource Centre, both covered biomes, have very large surface areas, and we use them for rainwater harvesting, rainwater catchment. Some of that rainwater is stored, cleaned, and we then use it site-wide for various purposes. A project that we hope will be starting to come online early next year. It is indeed a geothermal project. Geothermal is not a new technology. Indeed, in some parts of the world, it doesn't involve drilling at all. It involves walking to the place and there is the hot water bubbling to the surface, and Iceland is a classic example for that. We are at the extremes, end of the line, so to speak, of energy transfer, energy production in this country. So if this county, through wave energy, wind power, now geothermal, can become both a leader and also an exemplar of what is possible to generate, that will be very favourable and very exciting. The message has to be at, I think, all 3 standard levels of local, national and international, and recognising that we don't all have to pursue goals individually. Often sharing resources, sharing ideas is not just exciting and helpful, but very pleasant.
Lower taxes,
Higher taxes,
record employment,
Unemployment,
peace,
war,
highest wages.
lower pay.
states' rights, centralization of government.
Whoa, stop! I've tried. I've listened to everybody. On TV and radio. I've read the papers and magazines. I've tried, but I'm still confused. Who's right? What's right? What should I believe? What are the facts? How can I tell?
So the whole goal of an economy, of a society that runs very well, is to completely minimise this kind of inefficiency, this waiting around, this poverty, this presupposition that poor people should somehow be served less by society than the rich.
Tens of thousands of kids that are dying every year because they can't get clean water. Regular people here, if you just look in Britain, that are being put out of work every day. Families that are hungry, children that are being abused, physically, emotionally, and just through neglect, and clinging on and holding some illusion over that life's okay, I'd say it's pretty chaotic at the moment.
The Zeitgeist movement is a sort of global decentralized volunteer organization that tries to spread sustainable values, tries to educate people about what it means to live in a society that's actually sustainable, that literally can go on. At the moment we've got what people are starting to refer to as a multi-dimensional collapse. We're running out of a lot of different resources at the same time. Slowly we're running out of clean water, slowly our air is getting more polluted, slowly we're coming to the end of the hydrocarbon era. All of that is a product of the fact that we're at the moment unable to solve the problem unless it makes money. And there is no money to be made in being sustainable.
If you just look for a moment at what the word economy means, it's about economising, isn't it? It's about doing things sensibly. It's about how we manage our resources. And at the moment we have this middleman, which is money, and that's the go-between that we use to manage our resources. A resource-based economy is about getting rid of that sort of corrupt, money middleman, and going directly to the resources and managing those intelligently but sustainably as well.
To understand what you have, where you have it, and then to build a society that has open access, free life goods in the sense of the best healthcare possible, the best kind of housing, which means also that the housing is essentially free, that you can live anywhere, and free transport, free integrated transport. A human being is a human being, and it needs to be looked after in the best possible way, or you're going to create a very sick individual. People always say, well, in a system where everything's free, and where it's all homogenized and everything looks the same apparently, people will just be lazy. People don't do anything. And it's actually the other way around, isn't it? Because the more you do a job you hate, the more you're not interested in doing anything else when you get home. You just want to withdraw into yourself and do nothing, go to sleep, and hate the fact that you've spent most of your day, of which you have a limited number, in something that you have no emotional investment in, that you're only doing for the money. That's the only reason you do it, for the money.
It's just a form of social control. We still live in the days of empire. Hard and fast stand by that. They just don't do it with a sword anymore. They do it with, they do it with money. It's either way you're being forced to work, in jobs that are belittling and meaningless, and in a lot of cases very dangerous for us environmentally and socially.
Well, at the moment we're very much in the process of trying to communicate this to as many people as possible, because to enact this kind of change requires, for the first time really, everyone to understand what's happening in their society. Mostly we just vote for it and hope it'll get better, and of course it doesn't. We already have the technology in place to do all this stuff. We understand how things work. They can't be put into place because of course they're being competed against by the society. So you have to fight to free that, to essentially produce almost moneyless projects where you just damn well build it, and you showcase and demonstrate this so people can essentially come and see a museum of the future, or multiple museums of the future. City systems like the Venus Project, like stuff that Buckminster Fuller talks about. It's been spoken about by a great many theorists. That's one of them, but there's many other things as well. But the biggest move at all is really going to be global revolution. It's going to be a combined opting out of the current system.
The world does change, and it will keep changing. It's just kind of which way you want that change to go, isn't it, is the question.
Well, you said something about why worry now. I'm worrying all right.
The continuing wastes of life and vitality present a serious problem.
Sometimes a relatively small improvement can mean the difference between success and failure.
The fires of frustration and discord are burning in every city.
Ask yourself, is this the time to change?
There are things to do. Learn responsibility, learn to work with people.
And your life will be affected by it. You know this. Can we gamble when the stakes are so high? Now is the time to begin. Now is the time to begin.